Mirai Nagasu became the second person evicted from the house during a live broadcast on Monday of Celebrity Big Brother on CBS. The 28-year-old Olympics figure skater's eviction came after fellow contestant comedian Chris Kattan, 51, all but announced he was ready to quit before the eviction vote. "I don't know much about game playing," said the former Saturday Night Live star. "I love you all and I think it's time for me to move on." Kattan then turned to Mirai and said, "You have been very dedicated to playing the game and it's very important to you. I've seen that for a while, for a couple weeks. You have had a lot of traumatic moments, so I think you should stay and I should move on. And I will see you all on the outside." Show host Julie Chen Moonves, 53, said, "Well, Chris Kattan, that is an unusual speech. I don't know if it's reverse psychology, but let's see how it works out for you." Despite Kattan's speech, the house guests all voted for Mirai to be evicted. Mirai addressed the group before she was evicted and said that it had been an amazing experience for her. "I never grew up watching people who look like me," she said. "And it has been so difficult for me because you are all so much older. But I have done my best. I know I am emotional, which is why I'm a great skater." She said she hoped she paved the way for others by being on the show. Julie then told Mirai that she was evicted and she walked out of the house. Mirai immediately sat down with Julie, who was waiting outside the door, to talk about her game. Julie asked her if she was prepared to be evicted. "Absolutely," she said. "It was really lonely for me in there and I didn't relate to anyone. I've never been the only Asian American in a room and that is something that I will have to endure. I've always been surrounded and that was really hard for me," Mirai said. "Well, I have been the only Asian American in the room," Julie told her. "I'm a little bit older." Julie said that despite the age difference, it really looked like she bonded with Kattan. Mirai said after spending time with him that she can't wait to read his books and to see his stand-up comedy performances. "He was really funny," she said. "I hope he comes out of the room more, because he hasn't opened up yet." Julie asked her what was tougher, competing in the Olympics or competing in the Celebrity Big Brother house. "I don't think I was mentally prepared for this," Mirai said. "I like being prepared and trained." Julie told her she would come back on February 23 for the Celebrity Big Brother finale. When the show started, it was day 11 in the house and NSYNC Chris Kirkpatrick, 50, held the head of household power and had nominated Mirai Kattan for eviction. He said in a confessional that Mirai was his real target. "I'm on the block again," said Mirai in a confessional. "Of course I am going to keep fighting because I am not a quitter." Chris Kattan said he was surprised he was nominated but that he was going to try to win the veto. Misha Cupcake Date, 35, a championship-winning mixed martial artist, said she didn't understand why Chris Kirkpatrick didn't nominate actor and fashion designer Carson Kressley, 52, who she said was the real threat. "I'm sad to see Chris Kattan on the nomination wall, but I'm glad it's not me," Carson said in a confessional. "This week I'm just going to lay low, blend in, not make eye contact, but it's kind of hard to hide all this fabulousness." Cynthia Bailey, 54, of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, said in a confessional that she was glad not to be nominated for eviction. She said she wouldn't be surprised if her name ended up on the block later. Chris Kirkpatrick strategized with Cynthia and reality star Shanna Moakler, 46, in his room over what they should do next if someone got taken off the block with a veto power. Mirai spoke to singer Todrick Hall, 36, to let him know that she will be very loyal to him and to Misha. "I will advocate for you," Todrick told her. "I would do anything to keep you in the house." At night, because the room was so dark, Katan mistakenly almost got into Carson's bed. "I was flattered," Carson said in a confessional. "It's been very lonely in this house, but I was like, keep it moving. Trying to get my beauty rest." Shanna and Chris Kirkpatrick strategized about trying to win the veto. Lamar Odom, 42, walked into one of the home's bathrooms and told Todd Bridges, 56, that God has been so good to me. Lamar told him, "I think I need to cry. I dreamt of my son last night, the one that passed away." He told Cynthia, who was also in the bathroom taking a shower, that he was talking to him in the dream. Lamar said in a confessional that his son passed away from SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, at 6 months old. "Even at 6 months old I would say that we had a really great relationship because whenever I would come into the room, his eyes would just follow me wherever I went until I picked him up," Lamar said. Lamar said he thought he had the dream because he wasn't grieved properly. Todd said in a confessional that his heart goes out to Lamar and it was clear to him that he had dealt with so much stuff. Lamar said in the dream that he kept saying "Snatch the rainbow, daddy." When he passed away, he couldn't talk. He would talk with his eyes. "It's just something I don't think I can ever get over," Lamar said in a confessional. "But him coming to me in a dream lets me know that he's not too far away and I know we'll see him in the afterlife." Lamar said his son's name was Jaden. In a confessional, Misha said she was rooting for Mirai to pull herself off the block so we can continue with our game plan of getting Carson out of this house. Misha and Todrick tried to convince Chris Kirkpatrick to change his game plan and to go after Carson instead of Mirai. "He wasn't convinced. This week is for me and my game," he told them. Chris Kirkpatrick went back to his room and discussed with Shanna who he might put up if Mirai was able to get herself off the block. Julie explained to everyone the rules for the veto competition. She said with Valentine's Day approaching, their competition was called Marry Me, also the title of Jennifer Lopez's new movie with Owen Wilson. She said they needed to point out which section of a photo where a fan was standing holding a sign that said "Marry Me." The competition went to a tiebreaker between Todrick and Shanna, with Shanna eventually winning the power of veto. After the competition, the house guests returned to the living room where Julie asked Shanna if she would use her power of veto. Shanna decided to not use her veto power, keeping Chris Kattan and Mirai on the chopping block, which ultimately led to Mirai's eviction. Big Brother, Celebrity Edition will return on CBS on Wednesday.